Hi everybody, welcome back to the True Potential YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about something which is very close to our hearts at True Potential, which is how we help communities and how we help our charity partners. Last year, I was very proud to say that we donated more than £1 million to causes which were very close to our heart, but importantly, causes which give greater opportunities to everybody, not just in the United Kingdom, but across the world as well. The staff at True Potential are incredibly generous in terms of the time which they gave up and in terms of the donations. And as part of the management team at True Potential, I'm also very proud to say that we always match those donations as well. And today it gives me great pride to announce one of our newest charity partners at True Potential, who are the Newcastle Eagles Foundation, or Community Foundation. For those who don't know, the Newcastle Eagles are a very well-known basketball team here in the northeast, literally 1 to 2 miles away from True Potential head office here in Newcastle upon Tyne. And I'm thrilled today to be joined by Susan Hunter from the Community Foundation itself. So welcome, Susan. Thank you for coming in today. So we've obviously got to know you very well. You were very kind to help us host our Christmas party just a couple of months ago. I'm delighted to say we didn't set fire to the building as well. It's still there. But for those who maybe don't know a lot about the Eagles Foundation, would you mind just maybe kicking off a little bit and talking about that, please?
Yes, so the foundation started in 2005. Before then, we were part of the Newcastle Eagles Club itself. But we're kind of not a core-funded sport, so we never receive funding from anywhere. And when we were part of the club, because that was seen as professional, it meant that it kind of limited the grants that we could apply for. So in 2005, we made the jump to kind of split the business into two and to become a foundation, which meant that we could go out into the community, continue doing schoolwork and engaging a lot of children into the programme, but not just the children, the parents as well. With the hope that they'd want to play basketball, but also live healthier lifestyles and come and support the Eagles team.
And actually, that's a really good point about, say, encouraging people to play sport and get involved with basketball. For those who've tuned into our channel in the past, they'll have seen we've supported the Beacon of Light at Sunderland Football Club. We support the Newcastle United Foundation at NUFC there as well. So this is our next foray into sports. And one of the things we find is, certainly with youngsters, but overall families, is that sporting link is really exciting and really motivates people. Is that the case there?
It is, and I think, within basketball, we work with the football club and the rugby club locally as well, who are doing amazing jobs. But it is about the whole family. So as much as we love bringing the kids in and playing the sport, we want the families to be engaged. So whether that is just coming and having a bit of a social natter with the rest of the parents or actually getting into coaching themselves, it's really important that it is a family kind of feel. And that's how we've always sold the foundation. And coming to the games, you'll see that it is very much a family orientated event. Because I think with basketball, historically, we've kind of was seen as just an American sport and people didn't always get their heads around it. So to be able to engage parents now who potentially have come through our programme themselves as kids is really important that they understand kind of what it is that we do and that, we're not just an American sport, we are here to support the community as a whole.
No, and certainly, I mentioned the building where the team play from there, and it's such a fantastic venue, and I can only assume it must open up so much possibilities.
It does. It's kind of been slightly an insane journey. So for years, obviously, we were based at what was the Metal Radio Arena, or we call it the old arena now. In there for years, and not having your own home. Sometimes didn't have access to our office. We didn't have access to toilets, running water. If there was an event going on, to then move into Northumbria University, which was almost purpose built for basketball, but didn't quite work in the end, but to always have the dream of having our own place. And I think when we opened the doors for the very first time, which was a match night, so I don't know what we were thinking, because it was slightly insane, it was sold out. I don't think even at that point we realised actually how much impact we'd have on the community. So we knew we could get the sports in because we had to have 3 sports kind of in the venue due to the funding that we'd received. but we didn't know actually how much impact we were going to have in terms of businesses, the partnerships we've built. I mean, having Christmas parties, we've had dinosaurs, robot wars, boxing, like it's just been, and obviously vaccination centre during COVID. Like the building has been so versatile, and we've managed to meet like so many different people that I don't think we could ever have envisioned that was kind of what was going to happen when we opened the doors.
So from there, and in terms of your overall community outreach, what's a typical project look like?
So we have some main projects. The first one is Hoops for Health, which has been going for over 20 years. So that's our kind of pilot programme that we started just with Newcastle schools originally. And it's the project that the men's and women's professional team also get involved in. So we work with a whole host of primary schools across Tyne-y-Wear and Northumberland, and we go in, we do road shows, and the road shows are based around healthy lifestyle. So historically, it's kind of had healthy eating in. There was a time where a lot of children were smoking, so we did anti-smoking. We've done tooth decay because there was a lot of children having their teeth taken out at 5. So the program's kind of moved with the times in terms of, you know, what might kids be kind of going through, which is why we now have a wellbeing section in there, especially post-COVID and obviously what the children have experienced. So the children get a chance to meet a lot of the team. They go on a carousel around their school, kind of listening to the workshops, getting involved. And then we send a coach in to deliver basketball coaching, and then they come to tournaments, and then the top 4 teams then come to an Eagles game. So it's a massive package, and the kids absolutely love it. The schools love it. And it's just a great way to kind of start teaching children kind of the importance of what it is to be healthy. And although, you know, we do say we do basketball, we try and encourage kids to do as many sports as they can, because at that age, you're not going to be proficient in anything potentially. So it's good to kind of try them all out. So that's kind of one of the main projects we've ran since day dot. And we now have other teams within the BBL League who are also delivering that project as well. And more recently, we've started a STEM project, which is with the women's team. So that's looking at science, technology, engineering, maths. And we use basketball as kind of the tool to teach that to children, because as we know, children aren't always going to be academic. So sitting in a classroom being taught isn't always how they're going to learn. So we use basketball. So we literally have basketball boots. What's the engineer of a boot? The game itself's got a lot of maths in it. You know, there's constant about different times on how quick you've got to shoot the ball. The angle, have taken the shot, percentages. So it's just a fun way to start to engage people into those kind of subjects. And we've had some really good feedback on kids who have then really took a shine for science or for maths who didn't before they kind of done the project.
That practical side of things, isn't it?
It is. It's just the fun. I think just the fun coming along and working with the professional women's team in our arena, which is always like really impressive. You know, kids coming in from a primary school are kind of having that massive space. So it's worked really well, and that is literally just grown year to year. On top of that, we have a disability programme, which is kind of close to my heart, which is we work with adults on an afternoon, one afternoon a week, teaching basketball, and kind of their growth and what it's kind of meant to those adults is like you can't even put a price on it. It's been an amazing project.
Is that typically getting adults
just
active and out?
Yeah, because unfortunately at 18, once they're out of the educational section, they kind of get just dumped as you're an adult, and then there's not a lot of support. And we've done some like little questionnaires and feedback with them, and actually the impact it's had is just it's phenomenal.
I couldn't agree more with that. So we work with some other charities as well, and we see the same kind of cliff edge where children get to 18 and all of a sudden, like, right, you're an adult, get on with it type of thing. Yeah, and it's an awful long time.
It is, and a lot of these adults will never be able to work, so they're very isolated. So just to be able to bring them together and they just have a fun afternoon. The coaches love delivering it. It's just been like a massive success and something that will probably kind of grow over the years. Another project we have is Pay It Forward. So what we've always been keen on is anybody that wants to play basketball should be able to play basketball, but obviously there are costs involved in basketball. We have to hire external venues, the cost of kit, and we brought in this pot so that we can say to people, if you can't afford to play this sport, we will subsidise it, whether they need 50% or 100%, whether it's just short term because dad might have lost his job, but he's looking for a new job. Can we just help for a couple of months, and we're able to step in and take that kind of burden away from the parents, so that it's never going to be a barrier to kids being able to play. And we had a lot of Ukrainian families obviously turned up once the kind of war unfortunately started, whose kids loved playing basketball, but at that point they weren't able to work and they're kind of trying to find their feet. So to be able to say, don't worry, just bring your kids along, let them just run around.
Well, from a social point of view as well, because they're obviously being ripped out of their homes and they're coming into a strange place. It's Newcastle. It's our home, but it's strange for them. It just gives them that integration point of view.
It does. And I think then they fitted in really well. And we run 13 junior clubs. So we've got one based in our home, but we also kind of run clubs across Tyne-Wear and Northumberland. And we have over 2,000 members within those clubs. And the diversity of the clubs is just huge. So you'll have people, who are on free school meals, to people who are in private schools, playing on the same basketball team. And that's okay.
That's the way it should be.
And you don't see it. So for us to be able to provide that is just amazing, to get as many people play basketball as
someone who's played sports, particularly team sports, all my life, I couldn't agree more. I think it breaks down so many barriers.
It does, and I think the team thing, just especially now more than ever, I think when we come back from COVID, we still had restrictions in, which was parents weren't allowed to come in to the building, but the kids could still come in and play basketball. Had to stop every 20 minutes and sanitise the ball and everything else that went with it. But just the kids' faces being able to come back and be part of something again, and they've been sat in their bedrooms, was just great. And the numbers just rose. The numbers went insane post-COVID, and we were kind of like, is this going to be a thing? And we've managed to kind of sustain those numbers. So I think silver linings again coming out of COVID is that some kids have now kind of gone, I need to find something that I can kind of do. It's
finding that opportunity. It's finding something new to do out of a bad situation, which is great for many reasons. It's great in terms of teaching people resilience, initiative as well, which is instead of wallowing and almost not feeling sorry for yourself, but like almost being that isolated thing. It's getting back out there and getting involved.
And I think doing sport and just kind of how that makes you feel in general kind of helps kids. We have a lot of kids going through a lot of tough things, but their parents are like, can they still come to basketball because that's their outlet? That's where they enjoy themselves, where they're around their teammates. So being able to give people that kind of platform to just be a kid and just enjoy life and not have worries, external to what they're doing.
It's music in my ears, and I'm glad we've been able to work with yourselves and play a small part in the many, many great things that you're doing just for the community and wider afoot as well. So thank you again, Susan,
thank you for your
coming
support.
in.
I mean, it's incredible for us, so we're really grateful.
And we're looking forward, everybody, to Susan and the team are going to be coming to the car park soon as well. We're going to have some fun and games here. We're going to shoot some hoops. We're going to chuck a duck. And everything as well. So I think on this video there's going to be a link as well, so please do dig deep, please do support. As a reminder, every pound which is raised, which is donated, me and the management team at True Potential will double as well. So every pound is worth £2 to Susan and to the Community Foundation there as well. So thanks again, Susan, and thank you, everybody.